Too Many Toyotas.
Hello everybody, this is Triple T or Too Many Toyotas. We made it to the Autocross in Traverse City, so we're going to do this today. It is burning quite a lot of oil though. I'm kind of concerned about it. It's burned like almost a quart on the trip up here, so yeah, the chem tool didn't really help a whole lot. But yeah, we got our Hoosier slicks on. We had those on in that previous video. They're basically used Spec Miata tires, so they're the same ones they use. And then my brother's got RT660s on the TC here. We got brand new ones, so this should be a good amount of grip today. But yeah, we got a little bit of competition in H-Stock over here. It's a cool Corolla hatchback manual, so that should be cool. But yeah, I'm in FSP class because of my header and all the other tiny little mods I made, so should be a fun day. We'll get going. So while I putz around on my warm-up lap on a wet track, let's talk about the actual trip up. So Friday night, we went to the grand opening of Winston Speedway. Then we picked up my dad in Pentwater and made the rest of the 180-mile trip up to Traverse City. I was only keeping track of fuel mileage from the section between the Wishing Well Easy Mart, Turtle Creek Stadium, and back to the Wishing Well, but during that time we got an average MPG of like 31.5, which is amazing. What hasn't been so amazing though is the oil pressure, which has been pretty dang low. It was at about 5 psi at idle and about 40 psi while running, which is pretty normal, but I mean, 5 psi at 1,000 RPM idle is not quite a lot. And yeah, I'm like a little bit concerned about that. I did one run at this autocross with the camera on the bumper mount to see how much smoke we were pouring. Here it is. I also just want to point out something about this track layout. On the S-Series Toyota engines, the pickup is arranged in such a way in the oil pan that basically on a left-hand turn you can turn as hard as you want and it'll never lose oil, but on a right-hand turn, if you turn hard enough, it'll slosh away. And especially on a 3SFE pan and not a GE pan or anything special. So this layout is actually like the least advantageous setup because every one of these tight hairpins are all really tight, long right-hand turns, which are probably, you know, not great for oil pressure. The amount of body roll in this thing is just comical. Watch me drift a front-wheel drive. Alright guys, we're 5 runs down, we have 1 to go. Hopefully I can improve on it. The tires were up to 28 psi because it's getting hotter outside, so I put them back down to 25 where they're supposed to be, and hopefully we can make this last run a good one. But engine's doing fine so far, I haven't really noticed anything. I just hope it doesn't blow up this time. It'd be a shame. It's a beautiful day though. We're doing good on time too. I'm at a 63.2 right now, so we're about 2 seconds off that Camaro right there. So yeah, doing all right. Wish me luck. So we made it through all our runs. It's the gap between the second and third run group right now. And I came over here a minute ago and noticed we got quite a bit of puddle under here. And I was looking at what that might be. And I took the valve cover off here. I'm pretty sure that's what it is because I could see it on the on this chamfer back here. It had a bunch of oil on it when I pulled it up. So yeah, I'm thinking what happened is I had these pretty loose because before, when I was doing the timing belt and seals job, I had a noise that was the idler. So basically somebody had once told me that if you don't have those the bolts for the valve cover on, if you have them on too tight, it can cause a noise. So I loosened them up at the time, and that's probably why it started leaking just now, because I was throwing this thing into the turns pretty hard. So I bet all that oil pooling up against there, it probably just started coming through the gasket a little bit. So gonna throw a little bit of extra Permatex on here since I did bring that gladly, and then we're gonna just make it home hopefully. So stick with me. All right, so the valve cover's resealed. I don't really see anything else leaking. It looks like the crank seal and the cam seal are dry. So hopefully that just takes care of that. So we're gonna go ride with my brother a little bit and then get some footage for it. But yeah, hopefully we can make it home from here. Cover's resealed. Go then.
Went pretty well. I tried the long way through the slalom this time, and it seemed to pick me up a couple of tenths. But yeah, everything's working really good. Brand new tires, feels great.
So somehow, even though you can jam the throttle and go straight through there, it's faster to go the other way?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the switchback doesn't actually lose me much time, because even when I straight line the gate, I still got to switch left and right a little bit to get a straight line for the next braking zone. So I feel like either way you got to do some turning. So I'm going to try it again this time, see if I can do it, because I still went deep into that the middle part, trying to run. Like, I wasn't quite decided, but I was already washing out, so I just decided to do the long way. I'm going to try and do it properly this time, see if I can get a 58.
All right, hopefully we can improve some more. All right, so we did make it back. I can show you how long the trip was. I'll put a picture up on the screen. It was a lot of miles for sure, but it's the next day around 2 o'clock. We're gonna cold start it, and then we're gonna warm it up for the compression test, the after compression test. Let's watch this. So I noticed on cold start it is starting to be slightly below 60 psi as well. So it's only at about 58 or 56 right now. But while this thing warms up, I kind of just want to gush about this car a little bit. Until you've driven one of these, you won't really ever know what I'm talking about. But this thing is one of the best highway cruisers ever. You can see all the bugs too. A lot of bugs yesterday. But like, for example, in my Avalon over there, that thing's robo throttle. And if you're not paying attention on the highway, you'll just notice, oh, you look down like, oh, I'm going like 7 miles an hour faster than I thought I was. The thing is, this actually has the Celica 5-speed in it. It has an S53, or no, I think it's an S54. But either way, it's from a 93 Celica convertible, I believe it was. But so it has the taller gearing instead of the Camry S51 that it's supposed to have. So that does put the RPM on the highway a little bit higher. But the thing is, that's kind of nice with this, having the high 5th gear. Because 50 is at like exactly 2,500 RPM, 60 is at like exactly 3,000 RPM, and 70 is at like exactly 3,500 RPM. So kind of pleasing to the eye, as well as being like, the thing is, with it being a cable throttle and with it being such high RPMs, it kind of gives like such a good feedback to your foot and to your whole body, kind of. Like, it just kind of allows you to just not look at the speedometer at all, and just I'll look down like 5 miles an hour, or 5 miles later, sorry, and I'm just doing the exact same speed that I was a minute ago. You know, like, it's just one of those things where it'll hold a speed, and it'll just be like the most comfortable thing ever. And it's like, you don't have to worry about it. You can kind of just keep your foot right where it's planted. It doesn't even need cruise control. This thing is actually equipped with cruise control, but it basically doesn't even need it because of how that works. Like, the thing is, that would never be acceptable on a modern car like that Hyundai, which I actually bought this Hyundai from my neighbor who lives in that house right over there. And I fixed the timing chain on it, and we're gonna flip it here. But basically beside that, this is kind of the most like equivalent car to this that you can actually buy right now, because it's a 2-liter naturally aspirated economy car basically, and has some of the same features, power windows, power locks, but it still has a keyed ignition, and it's kind of as close to a modern equivalent to that as you can get, surprisingly. And it is also only port injected. So kind of the longer I've owned this thing, I figured I would like hate it and just like hate driving it, but it's actually not that bad of a car. And I wouldn't keep it obviously, but I mean, nice to have. But anyway, we'll let this fully warm up, and then after that we'll do our post-test compression test, and then I'm pretty sure we're just going to switch back to 10W30 after this. And the last video in this series will be basically seeing if 10W30 improves the condition at all, and then getting back our lab test results eventually. So I'll be draining a sample of this oil too, and we'll send all 3 of those oil samples off to the lab here in the next week, hopefully. But yeah, so, well, I guess, you know, we still got a minute while this thing's warming up. So basically, we started off, I bought 2 extra quarts when we did the last oil change, and then we still had the 2.4 quarts left in the 0W8, what is it, the Mobile 1 that we bought. We used all of that this weekend. It's all gone. So there was, I think that's, I'll put the math on the screen because I'll do that later. But we have used quite a bit of oil in this experiment here. And to be honest, it's getting pretty expensive. I mean, it's like, when I last bought the 6 quarts of Toyota 0W8, that was $60. Or wait, 80 bucks. And then the 5 quarts of Mobile 1 was $54.99 as well. So this is getting a little expensive too, in addition to just being stupid. Like, you know, everybody in the comments telling me this is a stupid idea, I agree. But that's kind of why I wanted to do it, just to see what would happen. So all right, I'm gonna let this fully warm up. All right, so sorry we can't use the same compression tester. I took my good one to work, but I have been using this one on all my race cars for quite a long time, like 8 or 9 years at this point, so I trust it. So here's cylinder 1. All right, so nearly the same as before, just about 160, 150. Here's cylinder 2. Also about 150, which might be a little bit down, but we also had a really extended crank on the first one. All right, here's cylinder 3. Also about 150. Oh, sorry, I'm having a hard time getting a good connection here. All right, and finally cylinder 4. And yeah, I mean, they're all nearly similar that they were before. So I mean, the 0W8, it doesn't seem like it causes any real harm to the actual base health of the motor, but it does burn a metric crap ton of oil, so there is that. All right, so as I was saying in the middle section of the video, there's going to be one more video in the series where we switch to 10W30 and then kind of compare the oil burning, see if it gets any better, along with getting back our oil samples from the lab whenever that can happen. I'm not sure what the lead time on that is. But thanks everybody for watching this far in the series. If you have, make sure to drop a like and subscribe so you can see more of my content. But yeah, I had a really good time with this experiment, just messing around with this car and racing with friends and family and having a good time. So thanks everybody for watching. This has been Triple T or Too Many Toyota signing off.